For my tools teachers use presentation, I chose to do Nearpod. I chose Nearpod because I have heard it talked about quite a bit and I have seen it been used once, but I've never actually used it myself with students or just played around with it. So I thought this was something, as I'm always looking for new ways to engage my students and to assess them. For those of you that don't know, Nearpod is an interactive lesson presentation and assessment tool, and here you can see kind of the home page. It allows you to create your own lessons, but there are also lessons that are already on there. Some of them do come at a price, but there are plenty of free ones. Just so you know that there are different levels of Nearpod, but the free version is what I signed up for, and it allows you to do pretty much everything. There are a few things that you can't do, but the majority that you can do. Within this, students are able to use any device to access the presentation. All they have to do is be able to connect to the internet. For iPads, there are different apps that you can download, but you can also just get online, and as you see here, there's a place to enter the code that would appear when you start running your presentation. The great thing about this is that there are many different activities that you can add. So if we go to create a lesson, we want to add a slide, we can add content, which allows us to create a slide, and then we can upload videos, images, text, GIFs, or GIFs, however you want to say that. But then we can also, if we go back there, we can add activities. And these activities are very engaging. There's open-ended questions, there are polls, there are quizzes, there's a draw it section, which I'll talk about here in just a minute. But all of these things allow you as the teacher and the students to see in real time the results and what they're understanding and what they're not understanding, which is great. It's a great way to assess. It's a great way for students to self-assess, and it keeps students engaged as well. The Drawlet is my absolute favorite part of this. As a math teacher, I want my students to show work, and sometimes when they're working on the computer, they think that they don't have to show work because I'm not going to see it, or they can't go back and forth between a paper and the computer. But the Drawlet helps to alleviate some of that. Now, it is easier if it's a touch screen of some sort, but it does work with the mouse. As you'll see here in a little bit, it doesn't necessarily look very pretty, but I'm sure with practice it would look a lot better. Some ways that I think you can use Nearpod is for introducing a lesson, for reviewing a lesson, just sharing resources with students, as it allows you to place those videos, to place pictures, to place links. It also is a great assessment tool. It's interactive. It has different things that you can add to it. It's not just multiple choice. It's not just you can do anything with it. It's also a great professional development tool because it allows you to interact, and I like the interaction. Even in a professional development, I don't want to just stand up in front and talk. So it allows that interaction without necessarily putting somebody on the spot. As you can see, a downfall is that we have gray lettering and white background. All my pages are this way because that's all it allows. This is boring, but there is a way to kind of change that. And that's if we go to add content, we can upload a slideshow. You can upload from your computer, from Google Drive. So if you already have a presentation put together, all you have to do is upload it. And then you can add the draw to it. You can add the assessments to it to make it a little bit prettier. But that's the one downfall that I found. So this draw feature, I'll show you a little bit about it here. This page, draw, they need to identify the parts that division problem. So you just take your mouse or your finger and just here I'm just drawing a line. So again, it's a little shaky, it takes me a little bit longer, but Again, I think with practice, students will get a lot better at it, and I'll get a lot better at it as well. So as you go through here, I'll show you a couple examples of, here's a video that I uploaded, some more text, a picture. We already saw draw, which is what that is, and that is as well. Here is an example of one of the questions you would type. And the great thing about this is that it shows up on the teacher screen, all the answers, so you can see them all together, and you can choose to share that with the students or not. That's up to you. Here's also a poll. There's also quizzes. I did not put any quiz into this particular Nearpod because of the fact that this is kind of an introduction to a 5th grade topic, but a review of 4th grade. So there's not a ton of detail in it because they should already know it. But so I use this kind of as an introduction, but also a review. One of the great things about this also is that I use my Google account, my school Google account, and so I can easily send out the code to my students using Google Classroom. It's right there. That helped to kind of sell this to me a little bit more because I don't want my students having to go to 50 million different places. I think that Nearpod is a great way to engage and quickly assess students. I know that there's a lot more probably that I can use it for than what I've figured out already, and I can't wait to explore some more, and I hope that you have learned some more about Nearpod than you had. And if you have any other questions, just please let me know.